Joe James to the lectern to give his speech, Silence is Golden. Will you welcome Joe to the lectern?
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, silence, can you hear it? Silence is golden. Golden, yes, it is precious. It's too precious not to be preserved, nurtured, and handed down to children and grandchildren. And yet, it is at risk. It is easily broken, and it is increasingly rare. From the moment of waking to the radio alarm with its news of crises, disputes and disasters, our ears are assailed all day long by noise. Microwaves bleep, kettles whistle, house alarms scream, and car alarms wail plaintively. And just as alarms are noisy, so noise is alarming. And increasingly, there is no escape. Why is it that when you're watching TV, the programme is interrupted by adverts that boom at you twice as loudly as the programme that they are interrupted with? What is the point of the lunatic screaming of the audience in programmes like Britain's Got the Strictly Come Dancing X Factor on Ice? Where do they find those Muppets? Yay! But at least the TV has an off button. So let's turn it off and go out for a quiet drink. A quiet drink? Not much chance of that if your local is a city centre pub where flashing lights and a throbbing wall of pulsating noise conspire to pound your brain to pulp and detonate your skull. Okay, then a quiet walk along the seafront. Even there, peace is sure to be shattered by some snorting, rasping old bagger of a car, an Acme carriage, as spotty as its driver, flatulating past you with its defective exhaust pipe, or, as they don't say in Germany, its ehrgeschnitten lauten Boomertube. And from its in-car entertainment unit, emitting a din reminiscent of some demented Neanderthal beating himself rhythmically over the head with an empty dustbin. Restaurants, shops, and every public space seems to need so-called background music, which somehow manages to acquire ideas above its station and shoves its way relentlessly between you and your thoughts. Why this passion for noise? How can we, individually or collectively, think clearly in this wound-up atmosphere of turmoil? Will anyone stand up and speak out against this mind-numbing pollution, this waste of the precious gift of silence? I have good news, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. An article in the Times a little while ago reported children's reasoning skills were seen to improve when periods of quiet time were introduced into the daily routine. And it recommended that all schools should give protected quiet time. Wow. What genius did it take to think of that? Let me share with you a personal experience. Some years ago, in a profession which I've now left, I used to take a bunch of children every year on what we called an adventure week. Camping, canoeing, rock climbing and abseiling in the green, quiet wilds of the Ardèche Valley of central southern France. That, for those youngsters, was a week of cold turkey. They were deprived of TVs. There were no discos. They were taken away from the synthetic tinnitus that they inflict on themselves with their personal stereos. On day 1, there were grumbles. But by day 5, these jumpy, inattentive noise junkies were learning to actually listen, rather than simply absorbing noise. And when they realized that neither they nor the world needed to shout in order to be heard, they became aware, possibly for the first time, of the chuckling mumble of a river, the soft susurration of the breeze in the trees, the modulated murmur of Mother Nature, a soothing music and a calm language that they had never heard before. And bathed in that healing quiet, they found other senses awakening, eyes opened to the beauty of the golden glow of evening sunlight on treetops or mountaintop. Noses awoke to the aroma of fresh morning vegetation, to the enticing fragrance of wildly growing herbs, to the intoxicating scent of the pines and the honeyed whiff of the acacias. And in their head, they discovered uncluttered space in which to think, to process their experience into understanding, appreciation, awe and wonder, to discover an inkling of the metaphysical, perhaps a sense of spirituality or prayer, to hear the still, small, internal voice of reasoned judgment. This was learning that went well beyond the scope of any Ofsted tick list assessment. The gift of silence is indeed golden, but so fragile in our modern world, where children are whisked from one activity to another, and they fill the gaps with the cheap chatter of YouTube, Facebook, and worse. Quietness, stillness, silence, space to be calm, to reflect, to discover oneself and one's place in the great scheme of the universe. These are too precious a gift not to be preserved, nurtured, and handed down to children and grandchildren. Silence is golden. Listen. Can you hear it?
Thank you very much, Joe.
If those milestones are being used, it's possible to prove it because